So most every Coach authentication video on YouTube tells me exactly what to look for in an authentic Coach bag and how to spot one, but none of them are telling me what to look for in a fake. So today, that is exactly what I'm doing. I'm gonna expose some fakes, and guys, we're gonna destroy them. Alrighty. My friend Timothy Martin recently purchased 2 bags that he wanted my help authenticating. Well, he sent me some pictures on Instagram, and I was kind of bummed out to tell him that they weren't real and he shouldn't buy the bags. I wasn't aware that he'd already bought the bags, and he said, man, I am kind of bummed out, but what I'd like to do is to ship you these fake bags so that you can educate people on YouTube and tell people why they're fake bags. And he and I both agreed that this couldn't just be in vain that he had bought these knockoff bags. And thank you, Timothy, so much for being willing to not only spend the money on the bags, but then also the money on shipping and send these in so that everyone on YouTube could be educated. So those are the 2 bags that we are about to take a look at. And without further ado, here they are, and here's why they're fake. Here are the 2 Coach bags in question, both a signature print. This one, they're obviously 2 different prints. This is a more rounded pattern. This is the classic Coach double C jacquard pattern on this tapestry style bag. Neither of them are leather. Even the components of these, I can tell you, aren't leather. So obviously we're looking at 2 knockoff fake bags, but we're looking at 2 fake bags that I think to the untrained eye, you might inadvertently buy these, maybe even inadvertently sell these bags. So we're going to dissect them and basically explain to you why these are fake. And then I do have a real Coach here that I will be able to compare some of the components to and show you exactly what's wrong. So we're going to start out actually with this small one here. I'll just move the brown jacquard print to the side here. And so we're going to start out with this bag. And right off the bat, one of the biggest problems here is the word Coach here. If we really zoom in here, you can see that the A, it should be C-O-A-C-H. The A, well guys, that's not even an A. I think it says Cooch. And I'm not even sure that the last letter is an H. Now from a distance, everything probably looks pretty fine. You could maybe even get away with wearing something like that if you're into ugly fake bags. Okay, so that is gonna be our biggest giveaway right there. I want to compare this pattern to the same pattern that I have on a large bag. Now again, this is a larger scale here, but the pattern is the same. Now look at the word Coach here, C-O-A-C-H, very, very clear. And here is our fake bag, C-O, maybe an O-C-H. Quite a bit of difference here. I mean, honestly, right off the bat, you would be able to eliminate this bag as being authentic and you wouldn't even have to go any further. But I just feel like a lot of people don't look at these tiny little details and then they end up investing too much time for sure in authentication, and they invest too much money into fake goods. So let's go ahead and look at this strap very next. We'll compare it with an actual Coach leather strap. This, guys, I wish you could. I know, you know, we're limited. You can't feel how thick and the quality of this, but maybe you could take a look at this one and see just how soft and pliable this is. I'm gonna go ahead and actually cut this open because I want you guys to see the material that this is made out of. Okay, so just slicing it open again, you can see there is absolutely nothing leather about this. This is, I mean, this isn't even a very good fake leather. The feel of it, it's absolutely plastic. That's one thing you can do to get familiar with authenticating bags, is to know what leather feels like. The feel between the 2 of these is just night and day difference. Let's go ahead and look at this ring here. You'll see on the authentic Coach bag, there are brass rings, and these brass rings, if I spin them around, doesn't matter how many times I spin it, I'm never going to find a break. Do you ever see where this ring is joined? Absolutely not. On authentic Coach bag, this ring is a solid piece. That is a huge, huge big deal when you are authenticating Coach bags. Now let's take a look at the fake here, and I don't have to probably spin it very far before I'm going to see that it's joined. Here we go. Okay, so here is the spot in which it is joined. This fake Coach bag is joined, allowing separation here. You would never be able to do that with this real Coach bag. So this again is a big dead giveaway. So I'll go ahead and just rip this off of here. Okay, so I have actually ripped this ring wide open, and yeah, this is a fake piece of, you know, knockoff Coach hardware. Night and day difference. Even if this were a smaller bag, you would not have a break in the rings. So guys, remember this. This is a big deal whenever you are authenticating Coach bags. So we have the fake leather strap. We have the fake piece of hardware over here. Let's take a look at the stitches on this bag. Okay guys, we are looking at the stitches on this bag, and one common misconception in quality and designer bags is the stitching. When people say it needs to be straight, they think, well, you see right here where these are curved, that's not allowed. And guys, in super high-end bags, say Hermes bags, they're always going to be slanted. The problem is these are straight and these are slanted. There's irregularities, there's gaps, the stitches aren't even. What is this space that's going on right here? But if you're to look on an authentic Coach bag, the stitches on this particular bag are all straight and they are all evenly spaced, and they are going to be a straight margin on the bag. Like everything about this is straight as can be, it's even as can be, and it's consistent. If there's anything I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to tell you to look for straight stitches. I want you to look for consistency in the stitches, because this one, again, I wouldn't even have to open this bag up to be able to see that it is fake. Another thing I want you guys to notice in the pattern is how absolutely circular these C's are. And you see how these are a little bit stretched out. You could say that that was from where, but I think it's from where the fabric itself is actually stretched out. So this one is just not even a good fake, you guys. Let's go ahead and check the zippers out. But before we get to the zippers, look. Do you spy another ring? Let's go ahead and take this off. I spy another ring, and well, I'll be, if it's not broken, another fake piece of Coach hardware. Okay, looking at the zipper head itself, don't look at the top, look at the side, and right here there should be a brand, but there is no brand. This is a generic zipper. Let me show you what a branded zipper would look like. It's going to be very hard for you to see, but you can see the letters on the side of the zipper head here. Now, that is a branded zipper. This zipper is branded YKK. YKK does not make zippers specifically for Coach. It is just a good quality branded zipper, and that's the brand they use. But it's also important to note, especially on this particular bag, that outside zippers, which are for decorative use, have no branding on them. So the fact that you don't see a brand on the zipper, that alone should not deter you, but it is a major part in the recipe here for authenticating this. Now on a small bag like this one should be branded, because this is more like an inner zipper. So let's go ahead and open this up. Now upon opening this, you guys, these teeth, you can see the plastic teeth here. On this Coach bag, this actual Coach bag, this is metal inside. These are metal zippers. This plastic zipper, and being generic plastic zipper, that should be a pretty big giveaway. But if you know much at all about Coach bags, you just noticed another big giveaway. Look at this. Do you know what the problem is? The problem is not that they don't match. The problem is that if there is a CC pattern, be it a signature pattern on the outside of a Coach bag, there is never a signature print on the inside of the bag. Coach does have some bag linings that are signature print, but guys, not on a signature exterior print bag. It would be like a solid leather, and then it may have a signature print on the inside. And yes, the fact that they don't match, I could never imagine Coach doing something like this. So the lining of this bag, guys, if you could feel the Halloween-like material that this feels like, let me show you the real Coach bag here. I could detect Coach satin like this from a mile away, you guys. This is a thick satin. This is more like a wedding dress material, at least a bridesmaid's dress, right? Like a high quality bridesmaid's dress. This is a good satin that you could make a garment out of. That is what their bags are lined in. So this is a far cry different texture and material than this. Let's go ahead and look at the stitching inside now. Okay, now we are taking a peek at the stitching along the edge here, and you see the margin here, like the hem allowance, and then how slender it is here. Another giveaway. There is inconsistencies here. There should be the same amount of excess fabric. You see how wide it is at the top there, and then it dips down. Like, there's just so much wrong with this. Let's go ahead and cut this sucker open. Okay, now we have cut this open so that you guys can really get a look at this fabric. Look at this. This doesn't even pretend to be satin. This is some cheap, I'm not even sure what this is. And look, again, if we look at the pattern, that's not even 2 separate C's. This is just some little spiral pattern. This is not even the Coach pattern on this. There's so much wrong with this. So let's go ahead and see what this bag is actually made out of. Okay. This is a, it's like a scuba-like material, some type of a foam. I don't know. Who knows? It could be some toxic material for all I know. If you haven't seen my video about counterfeits and the ugly truth about them, definitely check that out. I will link it below in the description, and you can see what I'm talking about, that this could be some toxic material even. I'll continue to touch it with my hands though, you know, just for the sake of educating you guys about this fake Coach. Okay, and yeah, just looking on the inside, we're going to continue to see the poor quality craftsmanship. Can I say craftsmanship on this? This is like 2 pieces of foam stitched together really, really poorly with a cheap lining that is not even the Coach pattern, frayed edges everywhere, a cheap plastic zipper, fake leather handles. There is absolutely nothing about this bag that would tell me that it's Coach. I mean, it wants to be a Coach or it wants to be a Cooch. I'm not even sure. This is a tragedy. This is tragic, and I'm so glad that it ended up in my hands. Thank you a lot, Tim, for sending me this so that I could sufficiently destroy it. This is gross. Let's take a look at the other one. Guys, if you're new here and you've not yet subscribed, I would love to have you as a subscriber. Hit the bell notification and you'll know when I drop future videos about authenticating Burberry, Gucci, Chanel, all kinds of different items that I'm going to be ripping apart some counterfeits. So you don't want to miss it. Be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notifications. Now that we know everything that we do about authenticating Coach, let's see if you guys can help me out on this one. So the first thing we will take a look at again are these straps. So right off the bat, you can notice uneven edges here, really cheap hardware that wants to be brass, I think, when it grows up. One thing I didn't even talk about on the other bag was how cheap these little clips feel. Just the quality of the springs. You should be able to feel. You hear that? This is not a Coach quality, but that comes with years of experience. I want to focus more on the things that you guys would be able to tell from never maybe even seeing a Coach bag. How would you authenticate this? So the poor quality of the leather and how uneven that is, and again, this is not leather. You should be able to feel that. If you can't feel the difference in fake leather, then selling luxury handbags may not be for you. I would encourage you to get to a store where you can feel what that leather is, and then become educated, and then maybe you could invest in bags like this to resell. So let's go ahead and take a look at the bag itself. Okay, right off the bat, we're going to just notice the pattern itself, and these C's appear to be a little bit slanted. The pattern is not even perfectly straight, but let's take a look at the stitching and see if we can come up with any inconsistencies there. This stitching does look pretty straight and fairly consistent. I could see how something like that might fool somebody, but take a look at the leather again at the bottom and the way that it is wrinkling and dimpling here. Because if you're going to buy bags like this online, look at this. Leather doesn't do this. Let me show you. So the wrinkling and dimpling that we just saw is because, again, this is just a foam with some type of a pleather material stamped right on top of it. And that is allowing that to wrinkle and dimple. You're paying for a piece of foam and a sticker that looks like leather. So yeah, that's why you see that it's separated from the foam. And if you are looking to buy Coach or designer bags online, you could look for inconsistencies in the leather like that. It's just a hole there. So that's what is messing up the leather whenever you move it and try to maneuver it about. So checking the stitching at the top here, I believe that this is just way too thick to be a Coach stitching. Oh, well, I mean, we know this bag is fake, but this may be common with a contrast stitching here, but it wouldn't be the same thick contrast stitching up here as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the zipper head. Okay, here is the zipper head, and again, we see absolutely no branding. This one is a metal zipper, which is a huge step in the right direction, but it's a generic zipper, and on a small product like this, it should definitely be branded as an inner pocket would be. You guys, I'm about to show you the inside lining of this bag, and just for good measure, let's go ahead and take a look at the authentic Coach bag lining once again. This beautiful, thick, again, I would compare it to a bridesmaid's dress, a wedding dress even, very thick satin. All of the stitching is superb, beautiful pockets, and then look at the absolute tragedy that is the inside lining of this bag. Are you ready for this? Really take a look at this. Guys, look at this. Just, if you've never touched a needle in your life, you could probably have done a better job sewing this in. And this is just the cheapest excuse for satin, I suppose. And look at this. I've never seen this in my entire life. This is just a made up lining that says Coach here. And they did go ahead and put another inner zipper, and we're going to take a look, and this zipper is not branded either. This one has cheap plastic on the zipper. Let's go ahead. I have to show you guys this lining a bit better. Listen. Do you hear that? This, I had a witch's hat for Halloween that was a better quality than this, but that's what I would compare it to, a witch's hat, okay? Or like those wind socks that you hang up outside, that's what this is. Listen, it's terrible, it's terrible. Okay, and then on the authentic Coach bag, if I were to pull this lining out, this is a true satin. We're just going to compare these two side by side for a minute. You can see in sheen the difference. I'm hoping that you can see, if you have never seen a Coach bag in person before, I'm hoping you'll be able to see the quality difference. You would absolutely be able to make a cocktail dress or a formal dress out of Coach satin. Would you ever imagine making a dress out of this? Wish, perhaps, would make a dress out of something like this. Okay, so let's actually just cut this open and see what is inside here. More shoddy stitching and more foam on the inside. Oh, look, guys, we got the bonus on this one of cardboard. Yay, cardboard and glue. That is something to feel for. So while you're trying to authenticate these bags, if you feel around in there and you can feel what clearly feels like cardboard, I will tell you that I own plenty of Coach bags and have sold a ton, and never, not one time, were they lined with paper inside. Never. That's never happened. So yeah, let's go ahead and cut this thing open. I'm really trying to keep the sarcasm to a minimum here, guys, but I am like just so fed up with fake bags, and Coach is one of the most commonly faked bags. This fabric isn't even good to try to repurpose for a keychain or something. This cheap fabric, foam, cardboard glued to this Halloween costume witch's hat-like material. I am hoping by ripping these bags apart and showing you guys that you were able to see exactly the quality of materials of these counterfeits, and hopefully something like this would not fool you. Now let's go through on this authentic Coach bag a few things that you can take note of that will help you to authenticate a Coach bag in the future. First and foremost, check the pattern. Know what the Coach patterns look like. Check the spelling. You can walk away from a bag immediately knowing that the spelling's not right. Look at the seams. Look at the the stitching. Make sure that stitches are consistent, even if they are not straight, that they are crooked together, okay? We are looking for consistency. Now at the top of the bag here, it looks like we are about halfway up cut off on this C pattern. If that started to drop or started to rise, then that is an inconsistency. We are looking not necessarily for perfection in a coach, but we are looking for consistency. The two fake bags did not have hang tags. Now I have plenty of real bags that I bought secondhand that didn't have the hang tag on them. Some people take these off, but this is something to look for. You could look at the stitching on it as well. Look for that pointed A, but I do know some coach that is now making flat top A's, but look for that pointed A on the coach there. Coach is infamous for round rings. I want you guys to spin the rings and ensure that there's no break, that they are one solid piece all the way around. Look for Coach branding on things like zipper pulls. Look for the zippers themselves to have brands, but note that all exterior zippers will not have brands because they are, you know, deemed more decorative than anything else. But this inside zipper should absolutely have a brand on it. YKK on this one. Some very old vintage Coach bags will have Talon zippers as well. But you're just looking for a brand, and you're looking for a metal zipper versus a plastic one. Those things in and of themselves do not disqualify the bag, but they are huge components. Now a big thing that we're going to look at is the creed. Those two bags did not have creeds, but small Coach products do not have creeds. Even some of the small crossbody or small purses do not have creeds. This bag has a creed, so the very first thing that I would do is make sure, again, the A has a point on it here, and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to read this entire creed. I'm going to read it once. I'm going to read it twice. I'm going to read it at least 3 times and look for any misspellings. We're going to look for any words that do not have adequate spacing between them to run on words. And then as a last effort here, you can run the model number of this bag and see if it actually pulls up on a quick Google search. If it pulls up this bag, that is one way that you could even search the bag to be able to resell it under the appropriate name. Take a look at the quality of the lining inside. Once again, if this is something that you would wear as a garment, it's probably Coach quality. If it's something you would wear as a Halloween costume, definitely pass that up. And then I want to show you guys a tag that a lot of people will disqualify authentic Coach when they see this black and white tag that says made in China. Guys, I know that we give things that are made in China a really bad rep, but there are plenty of designer items that are made in China, including modern Coach bags. So when you see this, don't distress. That does not mean that it is fake. Now, on the contrary, if you have a white tag inside and it says made in China, that doesn't look right. There are always black tags with white writing that I have ever seen, and this particular one also says Coach Poppy on the other side because it is this bright metallic and this teal and this purple. That is all part of the Coach Poppy, and we also see Coach Poppy on the front here. So that is a line within Coach, the Poppy. So yeah, that one says Coach Poppy. Most of them say nothing on the other side. It is just a black and white tag that says made in China. I've seen lots of people, again, say, hey, this isn't a real bag because it said made in China in it. That does not mean that it's not real. So those are just a few things to consider when you are looking at a bag versus the cheap trash that I showed you guys earlier. There you have it. Whether you are authenticating Coach for your own collection or you are attempting to resell it and want to ensure that you are not selling a knockoff, I hope this video has been entertaining and informational for you. Let me know if any of the tips that I gave you surprised you, or if you already knew these tips, let me know that as well. I want to ensure that my future videos on upcoming brands, like I say, Dooney & Burke is coming up, and Gucci as well. I have a Gucci bag and a belt, and we are going to be destroying those. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and remember, treat your business like your business.
Alrighty.